The knock came at 8:13 p.m., 3 soft taps. Too gentle to be a stranger, too familiar to be accidental. I already knew who it was. My phone had warned me hours earlier. Done finding myself, ready to be your wife again. 14 months of silence, and that was the sentence she chose to resurrect herself with. No apology, no explanation, just entitlement. As if I'd been paused, as if my life had waited for her like some obedient machine. I never replied, and now she stood on the other side of the door, breathing my air again, expecting the world she left to still be hers. I didn't move at first. I just watched her shadow under the door, the hesitant shifting of her feet, the nervous exhale that fogged the top edge of the glass panel. She knocked again, 3 taps, slightly faster, almost trembling. My heartbeat didn't change, not even a little. The storm inside me had died months ago. All that remained was the echo of it, cold, metallic, precise. I opened the door. She smiled at first, a soft, rehearsed expression she had practiced in the rearview mirror. But the smile died before reaching its intended destination, because it wasn't me who greeted her. Someone else stood in my hallway, behind me, her hand resting on my shoulder as naturally as if she'd always belonged there. My ex-wife's face went pale, completely bloodless. And I just watched, silent, detached, almost curious. I wondered which truth hit her first, the fact that I'd moved on, or the fact that she no longer held the power to destroy me. 14 months ago, she walked out with a suitcase and a lie disguised as a confession. "I just need space," she'd whispered, eyes swollen from the performance. Space. I remembered nodding, calmly, because something in her voice sounded wrong. Too smooth, too prepared. Pain rehearsed, silence practiced. And beneath it all, a second heartbeat, not hers, someone else's. I didn't accuse her. I didn't demand explanations. I didn't beg, rage, or even raise my voice. Instead, I just watched her leave. The way you watch a door close on a room filled with smoke. You don't chase the fire. You prepare for what's left when it burns out. 2 days later, a mutual friend accidentally sent me a picture of her in another city. A hand on her waist, a blurred face beside her, a hotel room behind them. I didn't react. I didn't break. But something shifted inside me, a quiet crack that let the truth bleed in slowly, cleanly. She wasn't finding herself. She was replacing me. And yet, I waited, not for her return, but for her collapse. For the moment her fantasy wore thin and reality dragged her back by the throat. It took 14 months. When her message arrived earlier today, I didn't feel rage. No trembling hands, no desperate questions. All I felt was calculation. Because I knew something she didn't, I had already uncovered everything. Her affair, the pregnancy scare, the messages she deleted, the location histories she forgot were synced to our shared drive, the receipts hidden under work events, the late-night calls labeled as therapy. I had all of it. And I had never, not once, let her know. She thought she was returning to a man still wounded. She had no idea she was returning to a man already rebuilt. I didn't investigate loudly. I didn't stalk, accuse, or interrogate. I observed, quietly, coldly. The truth came to me in pieces, small, sharp, undeniable. A dental bill from a clinic in another city. A membership at a hotel spa under a second name. A shared cloud folder she accidentally left connected to my tablet. I never opened anything twice. Never left fingerprints. Never gave her a single sign that I knew. Then there was the DNA test. Not for a child, but for myself. She had slipped once, 4 months before she left. "You're not as driven as the men I grew up with," she'd said. Strange comment. Bitterness disguised as comparison. So I tested my ancestry, compared my raw data with hers, the one she had used years ago, before secrets stained her hands. We were genetically incompatible in ways that made her earlier excuses crack open. Her infertility issues, her sudden avoidance of intimacy, the way she flinched when I touched her hip, the same hip another man's hand held in that picture. Every new detail wasn't a wound, it was fuel. Not for revenge, but for clarity. The more I learned, the less emotional I became. My calm scared even me. By month 11, the affair ended. I knew because the hotel membership expired and the cloud activity stopped. She was alone again, stranded in a life she'd burned for a temporary warmth. And I waited, not for her to come back, but for the version of me she expected to die inside her absence. Instead, I built something else. Someone else. Someone who didn't break. Someone who didn't chase. Someone who stepped out of the wreckage with a new hand in his, a new life shaping around him. Quiet, strong, intentional. Which brings us back to tonight. Her knock, her pale face, and the woman behind me, her presence soft but undeniable. Everything my ex had pretended to be. I stepped aside and let my ex into the living room. Not out of kindness, out of strategy. She walked in slowly, eyes unfocused, scanning the pictures on the wall she no longer belonged to. My partner offered her water. She declined with a tight shake of her head. I handed her a folder. Thin, precise, deadly. She opened it with trembling fingers. Photos, receipts, locations, timestamps. A timeline of her double life curated with surgical accuracy. Her breath hitched. Where did you get all this? I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Her knees nearly gave out. The realization washed over her in real time. Every lie she thought she buried had been exhumed and arranged in chronological order. And I watched, cold, silent, detached. She looked up at me as if hoping to find fury. But I wasn't angry. I was empty. And emptiness is far more frightening. She tried to speak, tried to apologize, tried to resurrect a future she had murdered with her own hands. I raised a hand, not to silence her, but to end the scene. I knew, I said quietly, long before you left. Her face collapsed, not because of guilt, but because she realized her betrayal hadn't destroyed me. It had freed me. And you came back, I continued, not because you found yourself, but because he left you. Her silence confirmed it. Why didn't you confront me? She whispered. Because, I said, you don't confront a storm. You let it pass. Then you rebuild. My partner stepped beside me. Not possessive, present. That broke my ex completely. The power she once wielded evaporated in the space between us. She wasn't a villain now, just a misplaced chapter I had already rewritten. She tried reaching for my hand. I stepped back. That was the moment she understood. There would be no second chance, no emotional explosion, no begging, just consequences, and the quiet, suffocating knowledge that she had returned to a life that had already moved on without her. I walked her to the door. No hugs, no forgiveness, no hatred, just closure. You didn't even reply to my message, she whispered, voice thin. You didn't deserve a reply. Her eyes filled, but I felt nothing. The man she once controlled no longer existed. She was speaking to someone rebuilt from her ashes. She stepped onto the porch, trembling. Is this really how it ends? Yes, I said. This time, on my terms. I closed the door gently, not to shut her out, but to seal the final chapter. Inside, the air felt clearer, lighter, as if her absence was finally real in the way it always should have been. I didn't look through the window to watch her walk away. I didn't need to. Some endings don't require witnesses. Some endings speak for themselves. And this one whispered the only truth that mattered. I lost her once. She lost me forever.